Hello again, Year 5, it's Mr. Hattersley again, with the third lesson in the biographies of the two astronauts that we've been looking at. The first thing that we'll do again is go through the starters, which we've been looking at relative clauses. A relative clause is a sentence that doesn't make sense on its own, and a relative pronoun is a pronoun that joins two sentences together, one of which obviously doesn't make sense. So we've got the first one here for you to circle. I want you to circle the relative pronoun this time. Okay. So, the dog who got out of the garden ran away. So I'll give you the first one straight away. It's who, isn't it? Remember from that list of them that we've seen already. The next one, underline the relative clause in the sentence below. Charlie, whose mother was a nurse, helped the little girl. Can't see that little girl very well, can you? There you go. Which is the relative pronoun? Pause the video here. It was whose. Because the person's mother is Charlie's, whose mother was a nurse. So he talked about Charlie. Right. Label the parts of the sentence with an M for the main clause and an R for the relative clause. Which is which? So Sarah is visiting Wales, which is Sarah is visiting Swansea, which is in Wales. So which sentence doesn't make sense by itself? Pause the video here, write the answer down. Right. Sarah is visiting Swansea makes sense perfectly by itself. So that's the main because it makes sense by itself. The next one is the relative clause. So if we just left it as which is in Wales on its own, it wouldn't make sense at all, would it? If we block that thing off and just say which is in Wales, we don't actually know what is in Wales. And of course, which is the relative pronoun. Okay, so the next one. It's asking us to take the most suitable relative clause for the sentence below. We can go to the part tomorrow. When your dad comes home, which your dad comes home, where your dad comes home. Which one makes the most sense? Pause the video there, try and work it out, read it with the grown-up sitting next to you or with anyone else that you sat with. And I'll give you the answer when you unpause it. Okay, so the answer is number 1, when your dad comes home. Which your dad comes home or where your dad comes home. Which doesn't make sense at all. Where your dad. Go to the park tomorrow where your dad comes home. I don't know about anybody else's dad, but my dad certainly doesn't go home to the park. So, the next one says, tick which sentence has used a relative clause correctly. Max, that is a teacher, is working over the summer holidays. Max is working over the holidays, who is a teacher. Or Max, who is a teacher, is working over the summer holidays. I'll let you pause the video there. Have a look. And off you go. Right, I'll give you the answer now. Here we go. It was number 3. I haven't got a tick, so I've just used that little explosion there. It was 3. Max, who is a teacher, so it's telling us what Max does, is working over the summer holidays. Asha, who has underlined the relative clause in the sentence below, Uncle Mark, who has just returned from holiday, went to the shops. She says, the relative clause in this sentence tells us how Uncle Mark journeyed to the shops. Is she correct? Explain your answer. Right, pause the video. Let me know what you think. Right, is she correct? Uncle Mark, who has just returned from holiday, went to the shops. Has he gone from holiday, landed in his aeroplane out front of the shop? No, I don't think so, has he? So she's not correct. It tells us that he's just come back from holiday, not that he's just come from the shops. Okay, so that's the starter done with. I'm hoping now that you're understanding relative clauses a little bit more. And today is our last research lesson. I don't know why it says Alfred the Great, because it's not about that. On the astronauts. And we will use the iPads and computers more. Well, obviously we would have been using iPads in the classroom, but you've got your computers at home to do your research on about Tim Peake and Helen Sharman's lives to make sure our biographies are as detailed as possible. So you've all got sheets. I've sent both home with you. Obviously, I don't know which ones you'll pick until I've marked them when you collect them back in at the end of the week. But you should have got, if you're doing Tim Peake, you will have got this. Showing you what you'll be writing about, so you can find out about when he was born in this one, his early life, what his family are, how he joined the army, how old he was, what he did, get into space. You can tell me when he came home, what he did when he came out of space, about his children, who you can see in the pictures. They've obviously got a great choice in films. And how influential he is, which we've looked at already twice, really, haven't we? So it's your job to find as many facts as you can for each of these. And the same goes for if you're doing Helen Sharman. So you can find out about her childhood, where she was born, her family, what she did as a child. You can tell me about her studies. We know that she studied in Sheffield and she's from Sheffield. Tell me about going to space, what made her choose to go to space, why she was qualified to go to space. The same as with Tim Peake. Tell me what she did afterwards, after she got home. There's a picture there of her landing. And tell me why she's so influential as well. So you've got as long as it takes for you to fill up all of those boxes. Don't worry, if you fill up that box, you're welcome to go onto the other page. You're welcome to write more details down. The more facts you can get, the better. Remember how many facts we got for the fact file on our animals, and as well as the persuasive letter. The facts that we used helped us to be successful in those. So you need to do this again. I know a lot of you will be able to do this fine. Okay. So I put those all on there. I'll put the link to this video at the top of your sheet. You should be able to find it at the top. And I'll see you soon. So I know this is a shorter one than the last two, but this one's more emphasis on you to go out and do your own research. Get older brothers and sisters to help you. Get family to help you, mum and dad. I'm sure they'll be able to help you lots. So stay safe and I'll see you soon. Goodbye.